Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 18. But even in those days, declares the Lord, I will not make a full end of you. When I was a teen, my dad and I got into surf fishing in a big way. One of the things he did was to purchase a Jeep Wagoneer so that we could drive out onto the beach to do fishing. One day he decided to make a box to fit in the back of the vehicle for our tackle and other things necessary for fishing. So it happened that we had a coffee table that I guess my dad thought was past its prime. He decided to use the top of the table for the top of the box in our Jeep. And while the table was at the end of its usefulness for the house, my dad decided not to put an end to it, but to repurpose it. In this verse, the Lord was about to bring upon Judah a conquering army. The Babylonians were going to attack and destroy the city of Jerusalem. Yet the Lord was not yet done with the nation of Israel. Thus he indicated that though the Babylonians will lay siege to Judah, its cities, and the capital city of Jerusalem, he would not put an end to the nation. He would preserve a remnant for a greater purpose in the future. So what was that greater purpose that God had for Israel? And to understand this, we must look back to the covenants that the Lord God made with Abraham and David. And this will give us a better picture of what God was going to do. First, God gave a promise to Abraham of a land for his descendants. The promised land we know as Canaan. It was to be a permanent possession for the nation. Moreover, in the covenant, God promised that through a seed of Abraham, all the nations of the earth would be blessed. If Israel had been wiped out completely, there would be no descendant of Abraham to fulfill his covenant promise, and no Israelites to eventually take possession of the land. Second, God made a covenant with David, Israel's second king. The promise was that one of his descendants would reign forever on the throne on which David reigned as king of Israel. This meant that the line of Judah, David's lineage, needed to be preserved. That also meant that the nation could not be wiped out completely. The seed of Abraham and the one who would eternally reign as king were one and the same person. Jesus Christ, who was of the lineage of David, the seed of Abraham, through whom all the nations of the earth would be blessed, and he also would reign on the throne as king forever. Thus God's greater purposes demanded that a remnant of Israel be preserved forever. Otherwise, Christ would never have been born, lived a sinless life, died on a cross to atone for man's sin, then raised up from the grave and ascended to heaven. In heaven, Christ serves today as our royal high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Furthermore, Jesus is coming back to establish his kingdom on earth. So here's the point. God has great plans, infinitely great plans. Sometimes we go through struggles and do not understand why. Perhaps we never will. Yet rest assured, we who have believed as his children are a preserved remnant to join in his greater plans. We are destined for the throne, and we will reign in the Lord's kingdom with him. The Lord our God has greater plans for us.